guys, it's Carolyn with Crafting with Wine, and I'm going to do another 2-page 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. And this one is going to be done a little bit differently because I'm using Cricut die cuts that I've made and paper pieced together, but I'm also going to use some other embellishments from my stash as well. And this one is another for the wedding layout. I told you guys not too long ago that I hop back and forth and don't stay with the same thing because I think it's just, maybe I get bored or I want to try something a little differently, or do something a little differently, so that's what I do. So I noticed this I didn't have laid down well, so I'm going to put a little glue dot behind it to get it to lay down that corner. So that's so this is what this is. Let me go over it. I got this deep, beautiful yellow gold color cardstock that's 12 by 12, and then this real deep, rich looking burgundy red that I've cut to 11.5 by 11.5, and then this black strip I cut at 1 1/4 by 11.5, and then this green strip here I have cut at 1 3/4 by 11.5, and I just layered them on top of this yellow border piece that I cut with my Cricut. It's cut at 3 1/4 inches by 11.5. It actually comes duplicated. It's got two of these together, and I just slice it in two so that I get two pieces and to cut to the size that I want, and that's how I do that. So it'll be duplicated or mirrored on my other side of my scrapbook layout. Then I moved it over about a 1/2 inch so I could see some more of this beautiful burgundy red color. Now this border strip, this yellow gold border strip here, comes from the Cricut cartridge the first few years. I use it a lot in my layouts because I love it, but it is duplicated. It's two that looks just like this together, and I just slice it apart. So now my next image that I'm going to lay down is my photo mat. It'll hold a 4 by 6 photo. The black layer is 6.5 by 4.5, and the yellow goes down 1/4 inch. So it's 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm going to put my photo mat right up here, like so. And then I have cut out this acorn flourish, and I've glued it all together, and then these 3 leaves come to where they duplicate and cut, so I popped those up on foam tape so it gave it some dimension. And then on my little acorns I doodled around the top of the acorns there and have done that. Now my flourish comes from the Art Nouveau cartridge here on Cricut. I have cut it at 6.14 by 5.92, and I'm going to put it down here in the corner. Excuse me, I swallowed wrong. And because it's thin, I'm going to, got a lot of thin spots to it, I'm going to just wet glue it down. And that should be good there. it right there. And then the next thing that I have that I'm going to lay down is just a little metal embellishment, and it's a little owl's head, and I tied a piece of little twine around it and made a little bow. This is the twine that I used, and it's very pliable, so you can structure it to look any way that you want. And then the little metal piece comes from Tim Holtz Ideology, and this is the Halloween adornments, and it has spiders and owls in it, and I wanted to use the owls. And I am going to use some wet glue on the back of this, and it should stay because this stuff is pretty strong glue. And if it's not sticking by the end of the video, then I will use hot glue on it. And I'm going to put it right down here, just to give it a little added dimension and something. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to do. And I can see that my battery on my camera is almost dead, so we're going to see if we can get through this video and make it super fast without it dying. Now the next thing I'm going to use are these beautiful fall leaves, and these are coming from floral embellishment from Recollections that you get at Michael's, which is their brand. Love these leaves. I bought tons of these last year. I bought these last year. I bet they have them again this year too, or we can hope that they do. And I'm just going to place these around here in like a little bundle or batch, so to speak, like so is what I want to do. And then I'll use wet glue on these too. And they're paper, or mulberry paper maybe. I'm going to put that one right there. And I may add some more to those in just a minute. And then the next thing I have are these acorns that I cut out. And my acorns come from the Cricut cartridge Talk Turkey to Me, and they're cut at 2.25 inches by 3.19 inches, and the tops are off, and I did some doodling with my black glaze pen on those so that you can see that. And I've got 2 of those cut out, and I'm with the little stems as well. And I'm wanting to put those right in here, like so. And I'm going to lay one down flat. And I'm just using my ATG gun to do that. Right about there. I'm going to lay that stem down flat too. Right about there. And then this other one I'm actually going to pop up on some foam tape, and I got some scrap pieces of foam tape. I keep all of those pieces. I'm sure you all do. So My giant roll's almost down to nothing now. You gotta love those giant rolls. If you don't buy the giant rolls, you should, because it saves you a bloody fortune, to be quite honest, to buy the giant rolls. So let's peel the backing off of that really quickly. Sorry, I'm nervous about my battery about to run out, so I keep looking up to check my camera. I should probably do that more often to make sure I'm in frame, but somehow I fail to do that. I'm going to put that one right there, and now I'm going to pop this little stem up on dimension as well. Let's see, it doesn't show through. That's awesome. I'm going to put it right about there. And then I tied another little bow out of that same twine that I'm going to place right there. And I am going to use wet glue because it's so small, this little bow is. And I know that my wet glue will dry matte because it will ooze out. So I'm going to do that. Oh, I need to find something heavy to sit on that. Use my texture paste. That'll hold it down like that, just like so. And and that finishes this side of my layout. So I'm gonna pull over the other side and very carefully pull this one out of the way with that texture paste on there so that my little bow that I tied doesn't move. Okay, my second page that I've done exactly like the first page, all the same borders and whatnot. And I also have a second acorn flourish here that I've done exactly the same way. And again, I'm going to lay it down with some wet glue. Okay, I think that's good. And I'm going to put this one up here in the top right hand corner of my page, like so. And again, I did the duplicate leaves again on this one, and I popped those 3 up on foam tape as well. And then I doodled on the acorns with my black gel pen just like I did on the other one. And then I have another little owl metal embellishment that I'm also going to lay down on this one as well. And I used the same twine. Place it right there. And I have another 4x6 photo mat. Well, holds a 4x6 photo. It's cut at 6.5 by 4.5, and then goes down to 6.25 by 4.25. And I'm going to place it right down here. And then the next thing that I have is my title that says Blessed. And my title is cut at 7.59 inches wide by 2.64 inches high. And it comes from the Cricut cartridge, Anna's Elegant Embellishments 2. It's not included in Cricut Design Space. If you don't have the cartridge, you will have to pay for it. And once you pay for an image in Cricut Design Space, it is yours forever. It's not a rental. You will always own it. And I believe on these type of images, most images are 99 cents, but if they're considered, I lost my words. I don't remember my word. I still don't. But if it's considered a licensed image, is the only way I know how to say it at this point, then they cost $1.49. And I believe this would be one that would be $1.49. So, and it's layered, and I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. I love the way it turned out. And then I have more of these little paper leaves from this recollection package that I'm going to use as well. I've pulled out 3, but I may use more than the 3. So we'll get these laid down, and then I will determine how many more, if any more, that I want to use. And you know what? I don't think that I'm going to use any more. I think I'm going to keep it right like so and do that. But I may tie another bow. Oh, I already got one tied. That must have been with testing for something else. So I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to put another of this twine bow down here on my leaves. Yes, I am definitely going to do that. So for speed's sake, so I can move, I'm going to use another mini glue dot. I use the Zots glue dots because they're super strong. And I don't know if you can see that on the end of my paper piercer there or not, but I'm just going to ball it up a little more, like so. And I'm going to place it on the back of the knot of my bow there. And I'm just going to lay it down, like so. Get those stuff put all back away. So that finishes this side of my layout as well. So let me bring in my other side here, and it all held together and worked just beautifully with that wet glue. You know, I said I wanted to lay something heavy on that, and that's what on that little bow right there. And I did, and it has stayed put and glued down well, and so is my little owl embellishment as well. So I think this layout turned out super cute. And again, nothing traditional about this wedding layout either, and I think it turned out gorgeous. This is my favorite one so far. I've got several others already created in my design space, and I can't wait to start cutting those out too. So I hope you guys like this layout, and maybe you can give it a try. And obviously it doesn't have to be used for a wedding layout whatsoever. It could be any fall or Thanksgiving themed layout really easily. So thanks for watching. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me tonight. I really appreciate it. We'll talk again real soon. Cheers.